Travis Kelce also famously slid from character concerns. So Shadeur, look no further. This could be you.
Jason Kelce, character concerns, fell all the way to the sixth round.
Character concerns and size concerns. What do you think about that Jason Kelce guy? Well, I've heard he's an asshole.
He's a lunatic.
Loses his temper all the time. And on top of that, he's too small. Let's pick him in the sixth round.
Welcome back to New Heights, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. A Wondery show produced by Wave Sports and Entertainment and brought to you by Dunkin Donuts. No way!
What a great sponsor.
They sent me munchkins. The wonderful delight that just, it doesn't make you feel like you're eating too bad until the entire box is gone and you're like, oh, that was a lot of donuts I just ate.
I mean, that's the trick of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just make them smaller. You're going to eat more. I'm definitely going to go breakfast sandwich.
Ooh, what you got there?
Sausage, chicken, cheese, English muffin. Pretty damn good.
We're your hosts. I'm Travis Kelce. My big brother Jason Kelce out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Shout out to the Cavs, baby. The old Coliseum out in Richfield. Cavs swept the Heat. Looking to advance already. Get some rest days. Subscribe on YouTube, Wondery Plus, wherever you get your podcasts, and follow the show on social media at New Heights Show with one S. Jason, let the people know what we got coming up.
Oh, you're going to want to stay tuned. We are going to recap everything that happened in the NFL draft. Well, not everything. We're going to cut the hot spots like usual, answer some of your no dumb questions, and we're going to get to a great combo with the one and only Mr. Ben Affleck.
Yeah!
Okay, time out. Is it Affleck or Affleck?
It's Affleck, I believe.
I always call him Ben Affleck.
It's not it. You got to say it right. I probably should say Ben Affleck as well.
I mean, it's definitely ECK, but I feel like everybody pronounces it Ben Affleck.
No, I don't think anybody does.
I've never heard anybody call Ben Affleck. Never heard that.
I think I hear it every single time I hear somebody say his name.
Brandon, say Ben's name.
Ben Affleck.
You're only saying it because we just went over
That's
it.
how Ben Affleck. How fast was that? How quick on the draw was I with that? Ben Affleck.
That was quick.
Am I just in a Black Mirror episode right now? I feel like that there's like a whole time conundrum thing of multi-universes.
I think you've been saying Affleck your entire life, but anybody that actually sees how his name is like wrote and written or like spelled, they're going to say it correctly. It's like people calling us Kels our entire lives.
No, that's where you're wrong. Before we get any of that, we're going to get to that thing we always get to. New news.
New news.
All righty. New news is brought to you by American Express. Let's start with some Homage promo. That's right. We're going to sell you some shit. New news from our friends at Homage. From now until May 4th, we're offering 25% off New Heights apparel. So it's the perfect time to treat yourself. As oh my God, what was that name from Parks and Rec? Tom Haverford. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, go treat yourself. Go to homage.com/New Heights and use promo code New Heights 25. All right, guest episode announcement. We're going to be back next week with another episode 90%ers are going to want to see and tune in for. We can say who it is if we really want to. Do we want to say?
No, I think we should keep it on ice for a second.
Should we get teasers? Let's get some teasers.
Ooh, all right.
We can't say this person's name, gender, where they're from, or where they live currently.
Okay. She is somebody's mother.
Travis, you can't say what gender it is.
You're right. All right. You won that one.
God damn it, Travis.
Our mom is joining us.
Yep, Donna Kelsey's joining us.
Keep it together.
Yeah, no, we clearly could not.
It's Mother's Day special. Everybody knew who was coming on. We're getting Donna Kelsey on the show. It's going to be a fucking blast because that's what Donna is. She's an absolute blast of a human being.
It's going to be great.
I haven't had Mama Kelsey on in a while, so you guys will get caught up with how Mommy's doing.
Travis, you're a grown man. Stop calling Mom Mommy.
Mommy.
Stop it.
Nope.
Stop that right now.
I'm going to keep doing it. I'm so comfortable with my manhood, Jason.
It's not about a manhood, Travis. It's about being, I don't know, but it's about being not weird is what it is. Okay.
Mommy.
I mean, if you say it like that, when you're around her, not weird. But when you say having mommy on, that's weird.
No, it's not.
Yes, girly? Oh.
No, Jason, you need to correct her right now. She either calls you dad or dada. He does not call you daddy. She does not call you daddy. If she calls you daddy, that's just weird.
No, Travis, she's a toddler. All right, we got our mom coming on. Special episode. That's it for New News brought to you by American Express.
All right, now. We've actually got some NFL news. Last week was the NFL draft, and apparently everyone tuned in.
Why is the NFL draft so much better than the other drafts? Besides the NFL just being more watched.
I think, what's the turnover in the NFL? I think there's always at least 300 to 400 new players every single year. I don't think it's like that in any other sport.
Yeah.
Maybe baseball. The
chances of the players you're watching get picked in the NBA actually making a difference outside of the top, 5 picks, every year. It's kind of a crapshoot a little bit. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. And I think the entire, I don't know. That's a great question. I'm trying to compare it to other sports, but college basketball, I would assume, is just as exciting as college football. And, the anticipation of the greatest players in that league going to the next level. I don't know. It's a great question. I think this is why football is king.
Yeah. All right.
And let's look at who the Chiefs picked.
Sure.
Yeah, let's look at it. Round number 1, 32nd overall pick, Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State, 6'5", 317. That's a big old boy right there.
Big boy.
How big of a boy are you?
This is one of the guys I actually watched a little bit. I absolutely love this guy on tape. The way he moves reminds me a lot of some high-level players. The way he bends, plays with his ass low to the ground. His arms only say 33, but it feels like he's got much bigger length than that. He is big. He's strong. He moves people. He's an outstanding pass blocker. This and the Eagles' first-round picks were two of the biggest steals in the draft. I'm not just saying that because they're both our teams. I really think if Josh Simmons doesn't tear his patella tendon, he's the first tackle off the board, most likely. The fact that the Chiefs got him at 32 could be unbelievable value if he comes back from the knee injury.
That boy Beach.
Now,
what I'm talking about, Beach.
We're going to have to wait and see how this kid comes back from this injury.
No, I don't think we'll have to wait and see. I think it's
all right,
signed, sealed, delivered. This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer.
I mean, if he comes back from the knee, there's a very good chance. This guy was very impressive.
If something tells me he's already there.
He's already there.
Round 2, number 63, Omar Norman Lott. How about it? D tackle out of Tennessee. First defensive tackle to be selected by the Chiefs in the second round since defensive tackle Chris Jones. Oh, gotta love being in the same conversations as Chris Jones. Saw the I've only seen highlights of these guys, and absolute stud. Kind of revamped offensive line, defensive line with our first 2 to 3 picks. We went with Ashton. I don't know how to say his last name. Gelati. You sure?
It's definitely not it. No, it's not it.
It's not it.
It might be it, actually. I have no idea. Played at Louisville, though. Tells me he's got a blue-collar kid, hard worker.
Yeah, if you're going to the third round with the Chiefs, you're going to be just fine. I know 1 or 2 guys that are still on the team. 13 years down the road, they got picked in the third round.
Same defensive line coach as George Karlaftis. I mean, I'm a big fan of these top 3 picks. I think the Chiefs clearly last year obviously struggled at the tackle position. They answered that right away with Josh Simmons, a kid that could have incredible upside. And then really they bolstered the defensive line with the next 2 picks, which, they needed to do. I think that the defense is very close to being unbelievable. And because of Spags and some of the pieces, it was unbelievable last year. But they've needed to revamp a little bit of that size and athleticism up front. And hopefully these 2 kids can do that.
You know it. Well, we didn't leave the third round without attacking the DB room. Got a cornerback out of Cal. Noel Williams led the FBS with 7 interceptions. So I guess you already know we can love a good ball hawk in the secondary now. He's got some accolades, and I mean, 7 picks. You got to love a DB who can catch the fucking ball. Jalen Royals, wide receiver out of Utah State.
I didn't scout the guy on.
Dude, 4th round, getting a guy that runs a 4.42 that just takes shit to the house. I saw that he had like 15 touchdowns this year or something like that.
Runs a 4.42.
Yeah, he's a strong wide receiver now.
Round 5, Jeffrey Bassa, linebacker, Oregon. Tallied at least 45 tackles in each of his first 4 seasons with the Ducks. Again, not that impressive. He served as Oregon's green dot in 2024, meaning I've just been having 45 tackles in each of his first 4 seasons. Like, there's special teams ought to get 45 tackles, Brandon. He served as Oregon's green dot in 2024, meaning he called the defensive plays on field. That is what that means. You want to say the last guy?
Brashard Smith, running back, SMU. Heard through the grapevine through my guy Garrick Dieter and his SMU Connects. Shout out to Dietz. He was saying that this guy is a baller. He's just an all-around baller. He had 1,977 all-purpose yards, which is pretty fucking ridiculous. He ran the 3rd fastest 40-yard dash of any running back at the combine. Nice. Really, really excited about this guy. He's a wide receiver, I believe, turned running back, and excited to get an athlete like that and a guy that could just, get the ball in his hands and do something with it.
Sounds like a dual threat, multiple purpose type running back. Use him in a lot of different ways. Yeah. You guys had your back that did that a lot last year was Pirine, which I loved. I loved Samaje Pirine, 3rd down back, could do a lot of stuff.
Back to Cincy, man. God damn it. That guy was good, man. Awesome teammate too.
I dug his overall vibe. Richard, maybe he can fill in that role. That's a crucial role. We lost our guy there, Kenny Gainwell. He was a big 3rd down back for us for a long time. Moved on this offseason. It's an important piece that a lot of times gets overlooked. Who's that back that is kind of that jack of all trades, 3rd down, very reliable. So he'll have a chance to compete. Round 7.
I love what we did in the draft, though. Handled some. We lost some guys on the defensive line, filled those roles, got a big old tackle to protect Pat and move some bodies in the run game. And then on top of that, just add pieces left and right in the secondary and on the offensive weapon side, man. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped to get these guys in the building, and who knows what else Veach is cooking up with all the undrafted free agents that we're going to see in rookie minicamp next week.
It's an exciting time of year, man. You get to
Yes, sir.
For those of you that don't know, we're going through all these draft picks. I don't think Travis or I put a lot of stock into pre-draft analysis.
Yeah,
and the reason for that is like you never know. Sometimes you have a really good feeling about a guy. A lot of the times teams will feel really good about a number of their guys. But at the end of the day, once the guy gets out there, once he gets in the building, that's when you really get to start to know who's who and what guys kind of have it, whether it's all the physical stature stuff, the mental acuity, the competitive nature. None of that stuff is really going to fully be transparent until you start seeing them in person against NFL guys out on the field. So it's an exciting time to be in the NFL. Like, I think for all the fans, the exciting thing just happened, the draft, right? For players and teammates, now's the exciting time. Now we're going to get to see all these guys and all these new pieces and actually see who can play and who can compete.
And who's going to make the building fun, man? Who's going to come in and juice us up and help the culture be even more exciting than what it is?
Hell yeah.
Let's look at these Eagles picks, man. What'd you guys go with?
Eagles, 1st round, we trade with you guys. How about that? Go from competing in the Super Bowl to trading draft picks. Let me tell you about my best friend. The one who let me trade up to stop somebody else from taking him. So we traded with the Kansas City Chiefs from 32 to 31, just one spot, to get Jihad Campbell from Alabama. Love this pick. I love this pick because I think the Eagles, what they've done really well the last few drafts that have panned out for them is they've gotten amazing value at different spots where guys start to slide. And like they are regarded by everybody out there as being players that are really, really talented that should have been taken higher. But for whatever reason, whether there's an injury like what happened with Josh Simmons, or maybe it's a position that doesn't necessarily get rated as highly, or there's times that are cause for concern. The Eagles have done a great job of just picking really good players for value picks where that guy should have gone before that based on how he was as a college player. And I think they got that with Jihad Campbell. He's a linebacker. For some reason, off-ball linebacker is a position that's been a little bit devalued in the NFL recently. Everybody tends to have gone defensive line or DBs with these picks early. I think the Eagles saw last year how much Zach Bond made a difference to the overall defense for Philadelphia. He was in for Defensive Player of the Year. The Eagles have great coaches. They probably have a lot of confidence in their ability of these coaches to scout different players. So they end up getting a guy that they really feel really highly about. Now you're going to pair him with Zach Bond. And I mean, this is an amazingly talented second level now in the Philadelphia Eagles with this guy. You can also rush the passer, I guess. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch him play. Round 2, pick 64, safety Andrew Makuba out of Texas. Don't know much about him, to be honest with you. Haven't watched a lot of college football, but Brandon Borders, our resident Texas expert, says he's a little guy that hits really hard.
Dog. You got a dog. You got a dog. I got to hype with my guy.
I love it. A lot of hype coming out of Andrew Makuba. And I feel like another one. It's another similar pick where it feels like he was slated higher, and the Eagles ended up getting him in the second round at pick 64. Round 4, they go defensive tackle Ty Robinson. And not only are they getting guys of great value, they're getting guys of positions that they need, right? Linebacker. They lost a couple linebackers in the offseason. Kobe Dean's coming off of injury. They need to continue to upgrade that position. They get safety Andrew Makuba after letting CJ GJ go last year. Darius Slay, my man, Big Play Slay is gone. So there's some secondary things that they need to shore up. And then obviously defensive line was their big need. I think a lot of people were talking about going into the draft, and they finally get to that in round 4 with Ty Robinson, a teammate of Cam Jurgens at Nebraska. He's, I don't know if you saw this, Trev. He's a pet camel. Take a look at this tweet.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I don't know about the
He's
pet
pretty
camel.
fucking pumped on the pet camel.
Listen,
where does he keep that thing?
Where does he keep it? I don't know. I mean, at his barn, his farm. It's a camel farm. It's got a camel farm, maybe.
Are camels suited for every climate?
They're suited for Nebraska, apparently. There's actually
I mean, Omaha, Nebraska does have one of the finest zoos in the state of America. All right.
There's actually a camel. There's a little like petting zoo type farm thing that we took the girls to around our house one time, and they had a camel. I think this guy spits. Camels are known for spitting. This guy big spit in people's faces. Little Bill Romanowski action to him.
That ain't right.
I hope not. We got to play with a little bit more class, but same time, whatever you got to do to get the job done, Ty. Don't worry about it. And then the rest of the draft, we continue to fill out needs on the defensive side of the ball, as well as shore up the offensive line. The offensive line was the position it felt like offensively that the Eagles wanted to continue to fill out the depth. I do think it's interesting. They didn't pick an offensive lineman until round 5 with Drew Kendall. And that tells me that they're pretty confident with who they have rolling into this. They got Tyler Steen at right guard, who has been competing for the starting job for at least 1 year. Really played a lot my last year too. He's got a lot of upside, especially if he can improve the consistency. Has done a lot of good things with the Eagles. And then on top of that, signed Matt Pryor this offseason. They traded for Kenyon Green from Houston. So there's a lot of competition here. They drafted Drew Kendall, center out of Boston College. They drafted a couple tackles late in Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams. So there's a lot of competition that Stout's going to be able to work with in that room. I'm excited to see what these guys got, man. I think when you get into these later rounds, it's kind of a crapshoot, you know. You're waiting to see everybody, once you're outside of the first round, second round, especially the third round, all these guys have some type of weakness, have something that's holding them back, that's causing them to go outside of the top 3 rounds. And you get to see what their strengths are, where they can improve at, which guys are going to pan out. And it's just, it's fun to watch these guys compete and get better. And especially watching Jeff Stoutland work with them. I'm excited to see each and every one of them.
You know it. Well, you guys also got a QB in Kyle McCord in the 6th round out of Syracuse. I actually remember watching this dude play a little bit in the ACC. And it looks like he's a lifelong Eagles fan from up there in the New Jersey area, little Mount Laurel.
Who's not these days? Am I right?
Big fan base. Big fan base.
I saw like a locker room video of him singing a rap song. Looked like he's got some swag to him, which, listen, we already know.
Sounds like
if you're a quarterback,
locker room guy.
Exactly. If you're a quarterback and you got some swagger to you, you got a little Baker Mayfield to your ass or some shit to you, that's a plus. That's a major plus.
It's always a plus.
A lot of times quarterbacks are can kind of be beaten to their own drum. It's a position that gets pandered to a lot. And a lot of the guys that are really good in college, they're sometimes, not as connected to their teammates as you need to be. And I was talking to Marcus Spears during the season, and he said something that I think is just so true. If you want to be the quarterback, you want to be like one of the great ones, you got to be the guy that everybody is gravitated to, that everybody wants to talk to. You don't got to be everybody's friend, but you have to have this personality that is like magnetic and drives people, and you're a focal point of the locker room. Those are what the great ones do, right? Yeah. And if you're not going to be that guy, you can have all the talent in the world and you might have success because you're on great teams, but it's going to be hard, especially when times aren't going well, to be somebody that galvanizes people to play well around you. And you're going to have to do that to be one of the best.
Yeah.
This is all saying, I like that he acted like he had a gun and he was doing his cool thing in the locker room. I think it shows that he's got some swag to him, Pew, 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 pew. Biggest story out of the draft was obviously Shadeur Sanders sliding to the 5th round. Many people projected him to be a first-round. Some people had him like top 10 picks, right?
In some of these mock drafts, he was high up there now.
Well, he's selected by the Cleveland Browns or Brownies.
I love this for Cleveland. God, I love this for Cleveland. I really do, man. The Browns fan deep down in my heart is just like, fuck yeah. You get a swag champ that works his ass off, that has something to prove now. Not that he didn't before, but he's got that chip on his shoulder. I'm sure because of how much he's dropped, and yeah. And
how could you not?
Yeah.
If you're at all a self-confident person who believes in themselves and you're touted by a lot of people and you had the college career that he had, how could you not be upset that you fell this far? You know what I mean? Still should be happy you're in the NFL, but I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are taken above him. There's a quarterback that the Browns selected above him. Who was the quarterback? Yeah. Dylan Gabriel was selected in the 3rd round. A lot of anonymous reports prior to the draft that his team interviews went poorly. What do you think, Trav? Why do you think Shadeur Sanders?
I think whoever's the fucking anonymous person that's fucking saying this should fucking come out and say who they were. And
say it with your chest.
Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, if you're going to fucking leak that type of shit, fucking be the one that says that, yeah, it just didn't go well for us. Don't fucking say that we're anonymous. That's so fucking lame. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's no validity to it. I'm not sure why he dropped. I'm not sure, whether it was the interviews or whether it was stuff that they saw on film. What I saw on film, I thought he was a way higher pick. And I think that's all that should matter. And I mean, it doesn't seem like he's a terrible person. It seems like he's just a motivated football player that is a part of a big football family. And him and his father have kind of taken over the NCAA football for the past 3 to 4 years. And whether that's something that NFL teams, quote unquote, didn't want to deal with, I feel like this is going to be such a fresh start for him. And now it's going to feel, I can see him working his ass off and becoming the starting quarterback in Cleveland at some point for sure.
Personally, I think a lot of these interviews went poorly, or the off the field antics between Deion and whatever media stuff Shadeur's got going on. I think all that is getting blown way out of proportion as a factor for this. Yeah. I think the reality is, to me, and the way I look at it, is it's hard to find a great quarterback in this league. If these teams really felt that Shadeur Sanders was a top 1st round talent, they would have picked him. That's what I think. I think if you mean to tell me if Michael Vick had these same exact off-field things happening, or if he was Michael Vick's exact talent, he wouldn't have been taken in the 1st round. Of course he would have. Teams said on draft day they don't think Shadeur Sanders' potential warrants being drafted that high at the next level. Okay. Now, for whatever reason that is, I don't know why that is. I don't even barely watch Shadeur Sanders, but I ain't going to sit here and tell you that, like, there's too many players with character issues, with concerns every year coming out about criminal behavior, off-field antics, and other things that get drafted in the first round. And they get drafted in the first round because they are ballers and the NFL wants great players. The fact that he got drafted at 144 in the fifth round tells me that maybe these off-field things mattered a little bit, but the bottom line is teams just do not think the potential of Shadeur Sanders panning out the next level is high enough to warrant an earlier pick. And teams get this wrong all the time. They got it wrong with Brock Purdy. They got it wrong with Tom Brady. This is not like an exact science. And I hope and I'm happy Shadeur Sanders is going to get an opportunity to go to Cleveland because clearly Cleveland wants to replace their starting quarterback. They picked two of them in the draft. So now you're going to get him, a competitive person, motivated to prove a bunch of motherfuckers wrong up in Cleveland, Ohio, on a team that clearly wants a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken Dylan Gabriel in the third round and then picked another one in the fifth.
And when it comes to the potential of a player, I think, I think the higher up you go is you're ready now. It might not be that the potential isn't there, that you will one day be ready. I think
there's just more questions. There's more questions of what's the maximum potential. Where is this player at currently? There's a ton of opportunity and potential that the kid has. And there's been tons of players that have been drafted in the later rounds who teams have questions about that end up panning out. And a lot of that comes down to the intangibles. A lot of that comes down to, does he just have this it factor? Everybody, and that's what everybody's kind of waiting to see. Like, at the end of the day, he's been successful everywhere he's been. He's had throwing accuracy. Like, none of that stuff teams can avoid accepting. But they will find all these other little things to say, like, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. There's guys like Tim Tebow had a lot of stuff in college too, and he didn't pan out in the NFL. Like, they're looking to find these little things that cause them to have concern about why you might not pan out the next level. Yeah. And all I'm saying is, if this kid is the dog and the motivated individual, he's got a lot of attributes that lead themselves to being great at the next level.
Yeah.
And he's in a situation now that, he's going to get a chance to compete.
All right now.
Yeah.
Shadeur, hit us up if you need any food recommendations out there in Cleveland, big dog. And good luck. Good luck becoming the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, brother.
I'm rooting for him. I fucking hope. I mean, talk about a great story.
Are you kidding me? How can you not root for the guy right now?
I hope he makes it and he brings all of the people that he brought to him to the meetings to the contract that he signs after he fucking leads him to some playoff game. You know what I mean? Like, I hope this just happens in the biggest fuck you to everybody around their questioning that side of things. But anyways,
let's fucking go.
Travis Kelce also famously slid from character concerns. Arguably was the best tight end on tape. So Shadeur, look no further. This could be you.
That's Jason Kelce. Character concerns fell all the way to the sixth round.
Character concerns and size concerns. What do you think about that Jason Kelce guy? Well,
he's a fucking lunatic.
I've heard he's an asshole. Loses his temper all the time. And on top of that, he's too small. Oh, yeah, he ran a good 40. Let's pick him in the sixth round. Travis Kelce. The funny thing about Trav is that, like, there was nothing else outside of the injuries. I guess you had two things. You had a few injuries, and then you obviously had the marijuana thing stemming from your sophomore year. But outside of that, like, I only remember people.
You saying marijuana makes it sound so more intense. Why does that word sound so intense? And maybe it's just like,
is it just funny that, do you ever stop to think? You probably got drafted an entire round later than you should have. Maybe even, you could have, the tape that you had your senior year was incredible. So
I had only had 2 years at tight end.
Well, you really only had 1 year of playing fully healthy the whole year. I just think it's funny sometimes looking back and, like, there are all these concerns about Travis Kelce and, like, everybody who ever knew you were a great kid. You just had like a mess up with weed. Sorry. And then all of a sudden, like, teams aren't picking you for it. Like, think about that today. Like, even back then, 75% of NFL players are smoking weed. What the fuck are we talking about? We're going to, like, act like this is a death sentence?
Yeah, we are.
Just blows my mind.
No, it's crazy, man. Everybody's all good, though.
Shout out to Big Red. It all worked out great.
Yeah. Worked out perfect.
I just want everybody that drops in the draft for like whatever character concerns or whatever. If it ever pans out, they should just do that exact same character concern. Like you should have just walked into signing your second deal with a blunt in your hand, smoking it as a side of the paper.
So where do I sign this?
I'm not condoning smoking weed, but unless you sign a multi-million-year deal and you want to say fuck you to all the people that doubted you because you did smoke weed.
I'm just signing the wrong parts of the contract. It's like, Travis, you didn't sign a single line correctly.
Travis, we said sign here. What? All right. Well, either way, the draft is in the books. 2025 draft is officially over. Now we get to see if these guys are actually any good, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, I say we get out of this draft and toss it to the old Ben Affleck interview.
Yep, Ben Affleck. Let's go.
Come on now.
Alrighty, and now a moment brought to you by American Express.
Jason, what's the most memorable meal you've ever had?
Weenies and beans from Dad.
That's the most memorable?
Yeah, I think it's.
Maybe
it's
try
pretty,
one that you've gone out to eat for and used an Amex for.
Uncrustables.
Ooh, nice. They're that memorable. They really are.
With Amex Platinum, you get access to global dining access by Resy when you add your Platinum card to your Resy profile.
You can experience some of the hottest restaurants with access to exclusive reservations and even be notified when hard-to-get reservations open up.
That's the powerful backing by American Express.
For full terms and to learn more, visit americanexpress.com/withmx.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like to check the weather first before planning a picnic.
Yeah, like to check if you put your phone on silent before entering a movie theater or a church.
Like to check if you packed your sunglasses first before heading to the beach. That's a big one.
Like to check if you've secured your coffee lid first before taking the first sip.
Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. All righty. Thank you to our partner, DraftKings.
The Kentucky Derby is this Saturday, May 3rd. Jason, here is how we are going to make the official New Heights Kentucky Derby pick. We're going to pick blind based on only the name of the horse. So here's those horsies. I'm going to just pull up on screen.
Oh, I'm looking at them.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are the vibes?
Man, there's some really good names.
Favorite name, right off the jump. Right off the jump. What sticks out to you?
Probably Tiztastic.
Tiztastic?
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, but I like it. It's got a Z in it.
I like Render Judgment.
Render Judgment.
Sounds like a dickhead horse. Flying Mohawk's not bad.
Flying Mohawk's pretty good.
Chunk of Gold would be fun to have win.
What is the number 2 one?
Neo Equus.
Neo Equus. What does that
sounds
mean?
pretentious, and I don't like it.
I'll go with Citizen Bull.
You're going to go with Citizen Bull. Okay, you want to lock that in as the official New Heights
sounds
pick
serious
of the Derby.
enough. It almost sounds like it's like Native American, which it probably isn't. But there's something about it that I like.
Okay, all right, folks. Citizen Bull. That is the official
I like
New Heights
Citizens.
pick.
I like Bulls.
Okay, you put them together in a horse, and you've got a winner.
If you want to get into the action, we have teamed up with DraftKings to bring you the ultimate Derby experience. That's right. DraftKings is turning up the thrill with their King of the Track promotion.
Ooh.
Here's how to get in. Okay. Head to DraftKings Horse app, opt in, and bet $5 or more on a single horse to win the Kentucky Derby.
Citizen Bull. Citizen Bull. You heard it here.
If your pick crosses the finish line first, you'll win a share of a $1 million prize pool in addition to your wager's winnings. The reward is issued via click to claim. So saddle up this race season, download DK Horse. That stands for DraftKings, but it looks like it's DK Horse. Use promo code New Heights and get in on the Derby excitement.
This is fucking badass, dude.
It's awesome, man. It's more fun now. Like you can do stuff because like stuff like this, like people listen to, people care about. It's really fun to like talk to somebody, guys I admire and like, and I'm like, this is fucking great. It's so much more interesting. And no wonder why that's the shit that people actually want to see instead of the kind of same recycled bullshit that, just gets old.
I hear you, man.
Anyway, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys.
No, complete honor, man. This is incredible. We are chomping at the bit, brother.
Before we get started, I just got to let you know, this is not a professional deal here. We're just going to kick it. We're just going to fucking kick it.
Good, man. Yeah. Believe me. That's great.
I love it. Jason, do the honors, my brother.
Our guest today is writer, director, actor, producer from Berkeley, California. He's got 3 times Golden Globes, 2-time BAFTAs, 2-time SAG Awards, and is a 2-time Academy Award winner. You know him from Good Will Hunting, Armageddon, Argo, Gone Girl, The Town, Justice League, even Dunkin' Donuts Super Bowl commercials. That's right. And now, The Accountant 2. That's right.
Sir.
92%ers, please welcome Mr. Ben Affleck. What's up?
That's the fucking introduction of I didn't even know half that shit. That's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Of course, man.
It's good to be here, man. It's really good to be here.
The First Accountant, fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jason, you can go ahead and tell them about how you're connected in that world and everything. But I was blown away by the messages sent, by just how cool everything came together. And you just felt how it ended, that you had to do another one, right? It was just so badass.
I wanted to first of all, thank you very much. I really liked the first one, and it kind of like, it did well, and then it like built up. It kind of came out right as streaming started growing, and then over time, like, more and more people watched and stuff, and so I was really excited to do another one. I love the new version. I think it's even better than the first movie, and
hell yeah,
I appreciate it, man. It's a lot of fun, and it's good to be here to talk about it.
Well, I know you've been told this before from the first one, and the second one is very, very similar. You do such a great job of portraying somebody on the spectrum. You can tell that you guys put so much time and effort into doing that properly, showcasing tools for how people that are on the spectrum deal with too much stimulus going on. What are different traits? How do they communicate? What is what is the social interaction like? The dating scene from this second movie, right off the gate. Oh my gosh.
So good.
But my wife works with kids on the spectrum. She was in instructional aid for a long time. We do a lot of stuff in the autism community. So I'd be remiss if I did not say how awesome you do and how much you guys have nailed it in both films. So well done.
Thank you very much, man. That's obviously the most important thing. It's like, look, this movie is fun. It's tense. It's serious. It's funny. But obviously it kind of starts with like, when you're taking a role on like this and you're going to kind of talk about like, people about whom in particular there's been some like misunderstandings or judgments or whatever. Like, the goal is for authenticity and respect and empathy and understanding. And I did a lot of research for the first one, and I got really lucky in my life in the years between, because I got to develop some very close relationships with people very much like my character. And that's where I got like just people that enriched my life, and I just got to know. And then I was like, there's so much joy and humor and wry humor and wisdom and so much beauty in these folks. And it's like, it was a great, I really felt like that was the most important thing to bring that humanity up, because sometimes if you have a more like neutral affect, people might just assume, okay, well, they're very serious, or there's not as much going on, or they don't have the same feelings. And I have not found that at all to be true. It's just a slightly different way of seeing the world and approaching it. And I really wanted to bring that to this role, both because I thought, it hadn't really been done in that way. And because I just came to love, in effect, this character through the people that I knew. So it's like that by the time I got into this one, I was like, no, I really understand this guy. Now, I kind of guessed and fooled around and researched before, and now I have it. And I wanted people to feel it, and so thank you very much. And it means the world to me. And it's a very interesting experience, because like you're talking about, like, dealing with social cues, like in some ways it's just a slightly more elevated version of what we all kind of experience, but hide more. Like,
for
one
sure.
of the beautiful things about people on the spectrum is like, they're honest with you.
Yeah,
they will
right.
shoot you straight. We all talk about how we want honesty. Truth is, people want it if it's what they want to hear. You know what I mean? If somebody tells you the truth, they don't really want the truth.
Yeah,
right. There's something wonderful about somebody who I'm just going to tell you the truth about it. So don't ask something that you don't want an honest answer to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Well, it was, and who have that's like, we all kind of find like, look, the whole situation, trying to date somebody and figure out, like, meet people, flirt with them, the kind of like cues and indications that people get. Like, I think a lot of people have a little bit of difficulty trying to figure that out. Did I say the right thing? Did I come off stupid? This is just a more kind of in plain sight version of that. And what's beautiful about it is like the vulnerability. Guys like trying to have a connection with his brother, really that's the heart of it. He loves his brother, but drives him fucking crazy, you know, and so it's about how do I figure that out, you know?
Yeah.
And same with the relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's awesome seeing that side of it with like the social interaction and things where a lot of times people on the spectrum kind of struggle with, but then you also see the strengths of the character and obviously the ability to like process numbers and like make connections that nobody else is going to be able to do. So it's just so well done.
Have you ever embodied a character as much as this? I mean,
not really.
It's been a lot of characters.
You've gathered so many. I mean, you've had so many unbelievable movies, but hearing you talk about this, it sounds like you really it was almost like a passion project this second time around.
It was a very different thing the second time around because of my life and the love I had developed. And I was like dying to get going. You know, I was like, I remember the director like sat down with me and he was like, and I was like, no, this is what this scene's about. No, this is how he's feeling. No, he's not mad about that. You know, and I just started to know kind of much more deeply about the guy. And that's like, look, as an actor, you try to do as much research as you can, but it's like cheating almost when you have real experience with something. You just bring a whole other level of stuff to it. And that's what happened with this movie. And it was fun. And also, honestly, Jon Bernthal is so genius. The guy, I love this guy. He's a good man. He's a great actor. He's like a good father. He's a guy that he became a very close friend of mine. I love the guy. And getting to play the scenes with him, maybe that's analogous to like, you know, another great player on the team. Like when you're with somebody at a super high level, it just changes everything. Where you're like, oh, he already knows where I'm going to be. He already can see what I'm doing, and he's there. And you know what I mean? It just makes you so much better. And that was a joy every day.
Well, and it feels like a lot of the movies you're in, there's this incorporation of brotherhood. Obviously that's a literal brother in this movie, but I mean, Good Will Hunting, The Town, there's like this idea of friendship and brotherhood. That's something that encompasses so well in a lot of the films you do. But Bernthal's phenomenal in this one as well. Yeah.
He is, he's great. And yeah, that's a theme that's like really meaningful to me. And certainly look, you know, when I was young and like a lot of young guys before you get older and have other kinds of responsibilities, you get married, that kind of thing. Like oftentimes your male friends are your whole world, like your guys, your crew. That's a big deal. And it really means a lot particularly to men and to how we kind of grow into real men. And those guys that we're around shape and dictate that. I mean, I assume on a football team, it's even more kind of profound. And so for me, it was like, I've always been interested in these like very close male friendships and how they can be they can define us, how they can be hard when it becomes like a conflict, or when part of what's going on with another guy, like, you know, is a problem. But like for a lot of us, you know, particularly whether or not you had like a dad who was as present or around, like that, the period of time where that's the center of your life and you're socializing yourself in that way. And so that was a big frame of reference for me. And I think there's like vulnerability in it and there's strength. And it's a big way that oftentimes I think, you know, kind of men learn to grow into who they're going to be. And so it's a theme that I keep on coming back to. It's also very, you know, very powerful. It's like, especially when you have like a group of guys like that, and like when somebody is willing to tell you the truth or break the way that things have been going and go like, no, this is fucked up. Like that can be, I think, especially for men in those kinds of relationships, like a hugely powerful moment. Those are kind of the things that we remember and oftentimes that like define us in my experience.
You ain't lying, man.
There's been so many like iconic, like I don't even want to go. I hate listing like lines to guys who literally did this, but like The Town, like when you go in there and you're like, I'm not telling you where or what we're going for, why we're going there. I just need you to know it's like, deal. We're going right now. And it's just like every guy that has any close friends can relate to that story where it's like, dude, I got my boys back no matter what is the case. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to tell me. Yeah,
it's like, we're going to do something really hard. It's going to be huge risk, and you don't know what it is, and I need your help.
Yes,
that's all. It's like, okay, whose call are we going to take? It's like, that's the only, you know. And I was trying to find, I remember a shot to that movie, I was like, I really need a moment where we understand what kind of friendship he has with this guy, so that when, you know, when it starts to like get a lot of attention applied to it, you understand how strong it is, because it's an internal thing, the bond we feel, right? The connection. And that was like, I was like, he's got to, you know, I wanted something kind of, you know, extreme for that. So you go like, oh, these guys will follow each other anywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
You're dealing with something really powerful. Like this is the most important relationship in both of their lives.
Yep.
And that was, I kind of lucked into that line. It was kind of funny, and extreme, but
so damn good.
It does represent, I think, something that a lot of, you see it in sports, you see it in the military, you see it represented in some way, like, hey, I'll go fight and die. Like, I remember I did a training thing for a movie with the Army for 2 weeks, which probably was the hardest experience of my life.
2 weeks is a long time training, dude.
If I wasn't like so embarrassed about this boot camp, I would have quit for sure. I'd be like, I'm going to look terrible.
You're ringing the bell.
Yeah, totally. It was no joke, but I learned a lot of respect for it. And I remember the guys were like, one of the things these guys would say is like, you don't die for a flag. You don't die for an idea. You don't die for your friend, your guy next to you. And that really stayed with me of like, oh yeah, I get that. I get that that's how these bonds get shaped and how you get these like teams and units to function this way. It's very powerful.
We have one last question for you before we move on. Yeah. Could you actually file your own taxes? Do you file your own taxes?
You go into a glass room and just start writing on the walls, or what?
I mean, I could file them. I might get arrested for tax evasion. If I was zero, I can do that. I'm tempted to do that, but I write a lot of things down. It's not the right answer, though.
Oh, God.
So good, man. Check out Accountant 2 in theaters right now, ladies and gentlemen, 92%ers. My dog Ben Affleck fucking killed it. We got to get into this sports fandom, though, man.
Ben, does the chair you're sitting in kind of lock, like so it doesn't swivel?
Oh, you don't want me doing this type of thing?
You're moving kind of in and out of frame.
Oh, because it's a third. Yeah. Well, let me just try to fucking sit still. Like, you know what I mean? I can probably manage that shit. Instead of like lock me in the chair, you know what I mean? Hopefully I can manage that. I'll try to help you out.
Oh my gosh.
If that's how you handle most of your guests, like, can we tie him down? This says a lot about what's going on. You strap this fucking guy to the chair or not?
So you lock it in.
Oh, man. All right. Let's get to some sports fandom, man. Boston's sports fan for life, I'm assuming, man. You've and it's all the sports up there, man. You got baseball, basketball, football, hockey, all of them. Boston's been spectacular, especially through the 90s, 2000s, and right now. This is a sports podcast, so let's jump into some. NFL draft will happen by the time this airs. Do you have like a favorite in this draft? Are you that in tune with like the guys coming out?
I'm dialed in where I'm like, I can tell fucking guys combine numbers and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just hear about like who looks good. Like I'm not that into, especially kind of like when Tom left New England and that whole thing. I was like, I had to step back from. I was kind of like, shit stopped making sense to me, and I kind of didn't know. But kind of like started watching the NFL like more casually. I used to be more into like who we gonna get, who's the draft pick, and now I kind of find myself a little conflicted. So I can't give you certainly any great detail on the draft, though, although I bet you guys can. I'm curious to know, like, do you think there's like more insight that you have in terms of like upcoming players? Like, do you think there really is a skill and an expertise to being like seeing how a guy will develop, or is everybody basically looking at the same fucking numbers, stat sheets, combine, numbers and that kind of thing?
There's definitely a process, and some guys hit home runs during the interview process. Like if you can't show the teams that you're going to be like a great teammate, a great professional, like you're just kind of like a guy that likes to just play football. Like, but if you can go in there and show that you're going to be professional, you're going to have a routine, you're going to be,
How important is that really? Like, I know they say that shit all the time. He's a good clubhouse guy, all that stuff, but like, have you seen it make a real difference? And does it make a difference to somebody who's looking at a player and go, this guy's for real, his commitment, all that stuff?
I think the guys that we brought in Kansas City, have been those guys. The guys that have had immediate success and found a way to get a second contract here. Those are the guys that they want. It's the build. I've been here from the jump, like 13 years ago, before Coach Reed even got here. They didn't have that kind of chemistry and kind of like culture in the building. It kind of took like 5 or 6 years for them to bring in the guys they wanted that had that professionalism and that like enjoyment in the building, coming into work every single day. And once we finally got that, it's changed the trajectory of the program.
And winning helps that too. The more success you have and the more wins, the more people genuinely buy in. I mean, that's one of the things that Bill and Tom did so well for so long in New England. Like nobody's going to come in there questioning how stuff's done when you got that type of success. So it affords you a great culture, even with guys that might not, maybe if they were in another situation, they wouldn't be the same type of guy. But I think for me, I've started to look at guys coming out more because now that I'm done, I try to help out, or that's my way to kind of stay involved. I never looked at a lot of college guys. It's hard, man. It's hard to evaluate and see guys and tell which guys are going to be the ones that pan out. As a player, you watch it and you can't help but think of guys that they remind you of and the way they move and the times and like the measurables. Those are all parameters that you kind of take into account. Like, if there's a center with less than 32-inch arms, that's a red flag. If there's a tackle with less than 34-inch arms, you're like, there's a certain like minimum amount that you want. Mm-hmm. But then after that, I like watching the tape and seeing like, how does the guy bend? What is his quickness? What are his moves? How does the offensive lineman use his hands? And then you're trying to think of like, what is coachable and correctable? There's some guys that you watch, you can almost tell that they're smart players by the angles that they take. Like, oh, this guy gets football. He knows where the ball's going and he's advanced. And other guys they look like they're running in the middle of the field. Like, dude, do you have any idea like what's happening right now? Like
it's really interesting to hear you guys talk about it because it actually does remind me, because I thought it was completely different. And it reminds me a lot of directing movies actually, which seems weird maybe, but like when you said, establishing some success goes a long way towards buy-in, where like it was more difficult for me to convince people like, hey, come on down this road. I kind of know early on. I know what I'm doing because I could see the guys were kind of like, fuck, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you know what you're doing. Like, and you might be leading me down the wrong road, and kind of get us all fucked up. And I kind of like, I noticed that as a movie come out, people would like it and stuff. It was people came to me with more openness. I don't know if Randy Moss would show up with the same openness that he showed up in the movie with, but he started to get towards that. And the other thing is that thing of like, I really do believe that there's a kind of a flow state with acting, with sports, all that stuff. And a part of it is that thing of like, am I comfortable? Am I at ease? Do I feel like I can kind of do my thing? It kind of basically that kind of buy-in that you talked about, in Kansas City about creating a culture.
Yeah.
I do think that makes a huge difference. And sometimes I see people look at me like I'm crazy if I'll say like, you got to have not just a great cameraman, like great dolly, you got to have an environment where all the people there are kind of filmmakers and they understand what's important, and everybody feels like they share a culture of valuing like certain things about what we're trying to do. And I guess it's interesting because I often thought those things were kind of cliches that guys said when they had to talk to the media or whatever. But to hear it articulated by the two professional guys who've done it actually made a lot more sense. I'm like, oh, this is the same thing. Like, you want people to share certain values, recognize what's important here, how we do this here. I get that. And I wonder though about like with football or, even other sports, it seems to me that part of the trick is figuring out who's going to keep growing and develop. Yeah. And who's going to stay kind of static. You know what I mean?
No
Have
question.
you guys noticed any particular attributes is it people who can like, who can tolerate, like who can't tolerate failure, but can get back up when they fail and get after it again? Is it is resilience the principal thing? Is it just like some people are lucky and they just keep getting better? Like, have you found any common traits?
I feel like I think a lot of that is dealt with when you have great culture, great coaches in hand, because then you got somebody that they respect, the person that needs to like grow as a player. They have somebody that they respect that is challenging them. Like a guy like me, I had Coach Reed since the beginning of my career sitting there just kind of hitting me on the head, telling me, don't do this, keep doing that. And you slowly start to like find your own professionalism inside of the culture, right? And then now you know how to add to that culture, and you know how to like build that culture even more once you start to figure out, the rights and the wrongs and what you should and shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Coach Reed has also grown a lot since I've been there in terms of letting the players kind of be more of themselves off the field. He would have never let me fucking do this podcast in the beginning of my career.
Well,
he would have told me, no, how about no? How about you just focus on football, bud?
Yeah.
But it's definitely I feel like a lot of that is you have to have that drive and that love for the game to want to keep getting better, and that goes along with guys that are coming into the building or guys in the draft. You gotta see it on the field. You got to see them love to compete, and then you have to see them love to work on their craft throughout. And that's kind of where it comes more of like a juggling match is like you only know that word of mouth. You don't really know what they're doing behind the scenes. So
how much of a hardcore fucking coach do you respond to? Because I'm
coach me up, man.
Obviously, and I think like you want a guy who's like get right in your face and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't you, or do you want somebody that's giving you that like, hey, you can get better here. Like, where do you think that sweet spot is for you?
I can respond to either one of those. I think coaches should be genuinely who their personalities are. Like if you're a fired up dude and you kind of motherfuck and that's kind of how you do it. And I can respond great to that. If you're like very reserved, but you're honest and articulate and you communicate really well, I can respond well to that.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is like, I want to be coached. Like I want to be told when I'm doing things like, what can I do to get better? And I think to your point of like, how do some guys improve? How do, some guys amass their potential? Like Kobe Bryant came and talked to the Eagles one time. And one of the things he said was like, one of his notes to all the young guys was be curious, keep asking questions, keep trying to get better. Like there's some guys that come in with just like this insatiable appetite to become better, even though they might have downturns and they might have to like have that resiliency. And like, we've all dealt with that in our careers and it sucks in the moment, but you realize at the end, it makes you so much better because you learn from it and you learn like, dude, why was I using my hands that way? If I just would have done this way, like, and now I'm doing it and it's leading to more success. And of course there needs to be great coaching and potential there to begin with, but that trait of like just this insatiable desire to like be the best version of a football player you can be is like the biggest thing to me. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick of guys coming out. Like who knows? Those are those intangibles where it's like you kind of lean on coaches that that know them. Like you talk to people in the universities that they're at. Like, hey, I know this coach there, and I know he will be honest with me about this guy's temperament. But that's a tough one to gauge.
That's a hard thing too, because you're calling somebody up. They're in the spot where like what they're going to tell you is going to dictate somebody's future. It's like, been experienced where somebody calls you about a job recommendation for somebody, even if you're like, I don't know if it feels bad to say that. And like what I used to do is like say good things about everybody because I felt bad. And then I have people come back to me, man, you told me this guy was
I know.
And oh shit.
I know.
Now I'm not doing you a service. You know what I mean? So you had to learn that lesson. One of the things I see like in our line of work is the people who I really respect the most, who I think are the best, have this combination of the wanting to be great, which is a sense of like, yeah, I can be great, but also a certain humility that's like, I got to keep looking at my mistakes.
Dude,
if you're not willing to look at your
I have said this so much.
Self-eval, baby.
I have said this so much. Every great player that I know is the right amount of insecure. Like they aren't happy with like who, it's not like they're not happy with who they are, but they're like, I need to improve this. I don't like this version of me here.
I don't know if I've ever watched a game where I'm just like, nice, I'm satisfied. I've always watched a game like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Why didn't I just do this better?
You fucking suck.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is like, there's people who are cool with good enough and people who they didn't make the choice. I'm like, it just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we're good. I'm like, it's not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, it just makes me feel and then when you get next to somebody else who also has that kind of demand, and maybe it's coach or it's another person that you're working with, you kind of feel like, okay, this person's going to go on this ride with me. And I do think it's just some people are like, I checked the box, I did what I had to do. And there's a kind of, like in the great athletes that I've had a chance, opportunity to know, like sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a curse because they still don't feel happy. Like they're always guys who feel like whatever it is isn't enough. And they kind of like, they don't seem like the most comfortable, happy people to me.
Yeah.
And so like, I love the idea of being great and I wish I was like this guy.
What are you talking about?
He's tortured.
Come on.
I wish I could dunk about I wish I could
fair enough. All right.
I wish I could do that. That looks awesome, right? Like anybody who watches sports, part of that's like, it'd be awesome if I could do that. You know what I mean? Like that's at the root of it. You've done something. You know how hard it is. You see guys doing it at that level of excellence. You really appreciate it. I'm and for me, that's the thrill of it. Why you want to see the top level performance, why people are obsessed with winning, because it represents who the very best are. And I think that goes to the root of our like evolutionary nature. Like, you want to go hunt for your food. You want to, you got to find the best hunter because that's survival. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You want to be next to that person. Your team is your tribe, is your village. You know, it's tied to whether you're going to live or die.
Yeah, and the great ones, they're like unhappy with where they're at or a little bit insecure with where they're at, but they also have the confidence that they can achieve it. You know what I mean? Like there's this like level of like, if you think you suck, but you don't think you have the confidence to get there, you're never going to make it. And if you think you're great, but you don't really know where you're at, you're going to get your ass kicked eventually.
Exactly. Like, I'm a genius. I have nothing to learn. Right?
Yes,
like, you're going to get annihilated.
Yes.
But also, if you still go suck, I suck. Okay. It's like, I don't know if you guys drive a motorcycle. When I was doing this like motorcycle school. They taught me this thing about
you ripping it. You sit back on the Harley or what, dude?
Mostly like race bikes. You know what I mean? Like, and it teaches you like as you're in a turn, you have to look through the turn. In other words, you can't look at what's in front of you. You have to look where you're going to go. And if you actually, the way guys get into accidents a lot of time is they get into a turn, it's steeper than they thought. You get scared you're going to hit the wall, so you look at the wall, and then you do hit it. You know what I'm saying? So to have that confidence to like look all the way through, even when you get halfway there and they're like, the bike can do more than you think it can. Trust it and look all the way through it. There's always that moment, like you say, of like, I believe I can get there, even if it's really hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That is, I think, a key part of it. And you probably experience or develop that belief because you have to have done it a few times. Oh, I can get better. Oh, and maybe that's rooted in talent or whatever, but there's definitely I find it fascinating, those kind of intangibles. And I think you got to ask the guys who are great themselves, because I think those are the people who really understand it.
I was going to say, speaking of the great ones, getting back to some of this Boston fandom, baby, the Celtics are defending their title. Obviously, Boston sports everywhere is amazing and has been amazing. Who's your favorite athlete, Boston athlete of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time.
That is hard, man. Like, I get, Brady is definitely, he'd have to be, I don't know how you do a list that he's not at the top of, but when I was younger, when I was a kid, like, that's when you're like, I was live or die.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Crying if they lost the game. And that was like Larry Bird.
Larry Legend.
Larry Legend.
And my son's always like, man, Larry Bird sucked. What are you talking about?
Put the highlights on. Listen, I'm with it. Turning on some film back in like all the heyday of these old guys and looking at what the new basketball looks like. I'm like, I don't know if some of them could play. Larry could play. Larry could easily have made the transition into today's basketball.
For Boston, that was such a big deal because it's like this basically like a small town with a kind of a small town mindset. And for the Celtics to be, and that's, going back obviously like Bill Russell days and all that, like the Celtics were the Boston's original entrance into like the national conversation. That, you know what I mean? The Red Sox always lost. The Patriots were fucking terrible. My father basically was a football bookie at a bar and was used to come up with my first VCR washing machine. He was like, you can thank Jim Plunkett. You know what I mean? The worst fucking quarterback in the NFL. Everybody betting on New England. And that was like back in the days. Like when I grew up, they blacked the games out on TV because
to get people to go to the stadium.
Yep.
Yeah. They were like, fuck, you can't watch it on TV if you don't go down there. So you couldn't even watch the games. It was that it was a grind of an era for football, But it was, that's the era that I really, when all these like childhood sports memories were kind of formed, and I love those Celtics teams. But I also love that, like, that Celtics team that came out and won the championship out here, and obviously Tatum's team, incredible.
Yeah, man.
But Red Sox 04, that was big, because they had won. You know what I mean? And that was a huge moment, especially after 03, they lost to New York in the playoffs, and it was humiliating. And that was a great team. And that was right at the time where I was still young enough. I was like going out. I knew some of those guys, hung out with them a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
that experience of being like, oh, this is what's really going on.
Big Poppy. He's
Big U. Cincinnati Bearcat, baby.
There you go.
Euclid.
Yeah, Kevin Euclid. Yeah. And they were great guys. And so it was like, oh, I know some of these guys. It was always at a distance. And it's a great sports town. I mean, it's probably tough to play in because they turn on you in a minute. There's always somebody, complaining about a game if they lost. But I feel like the guys that really want to play and win are like, okay, hold me to that standard. That's the standard I hold myself to, At least maybe that's what I tell myself. I don't know.
All right, there we go. Boston, do they live and die by the Celtics? Like, what's their biggest fandom of all the major sports? If you can get one championship for one organization, but the next three don't win for a decade, which one are you going?
Damn, that's a good one.
Or which one would make Boston happiest?
That's tough. I mean, it's different. It's interesting because there are fans of, first of all, since the Patriots became so successful, they became like more than what like Dallas was in the 90s. Like, oh, they win and they all were killing teams. It was like they got a little spoiled. Because the thing that I thought built character about New England was that like it felt like they always lost. You know what I mean? So if you were a fan, you were a real fan. Because they'd have these heartbreaking losses. Yeah. And you had like a few.
It's like growing up a Browns fan.
Real scrappy fucking teams like Bobby Orr. You know,
hell yeah.
Bobby Orr, baby.
Fuck yeah.
And it was like, that was back when they played, hockey with no helmets and just fought half the game, like slap shots.
Missing all their teeth.
Exactly.
The fucking best.
And so there's different parts of the city and the state and stuff that kind of go towards different, that like hockey fans are kind of a certain sort of group. And then football is kind of, the Red Sox were the original one, but I definitely, what's happened now, I think in my lifetime is that for better or for worse, I think this is true. I don't want to but baseball is not the national pastime anymore. It's the NFL. Like that has displaced it. Right now, you don't have to look any further than the football team. Like, what do the teams sell for? What are the TV rights to the NFL now mean everything. If you're a television network and you don't have the NFL, you don't even really have a TV.
You're missing out.
Because you have no reason to watch, your like appointment fucking televisions. That's why they're spending all this money on, and the college basketball and football contracts and stuff. Like sports have become more important in a way. And I think football, the NFL is, I think without question, like America's sport, basketball's huge too. I think it is really like the NBA.
We were trying to tell LeBron this during the Christmas games. We were like, the NFL fucking took that shit over.
Yeah, right.
You know why though? Because they have 82 games.
It's a big thing.
That's the other thing. It's like it become baseball 162 games.
It was the first time we had played on Christmas, so everybody was kind of excited to watch the NFL on Christmas.
No, but I think you're right. I mean, the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, they all came up when the way to make money was having more games because you increase ticket sales. And now all the money is who's tuning in. And if you want people to tune in.
You could sell no tickets. To NFL, if that makes this, it's not that meaningful. Because now baseball teams, you talk about like a lot of these baseball teams in local markets, like even like Kansas City, their rights that they're selling their games to the television networks has shrunk to like pretty surprisingly low numbers. So they're making all their money at the gate. That's it. That's that. I think, it's part of it's because the fan base is growing older for baseball, and football and basketball, really attract new and younger fans. And I think they've displaced it. And I think New England's no different. I think the Patriots probably became, certainly with, Tom and Bill and that, they were the dominant sports. And the Red Sox right there because they won the World Series at 4 or 7 and stuff. But and I don't know. I think basketball is probably like a very close second.
Did all my 92%ers get their hands on cotton candy yet? Accelerator just doesn't miss. Every single flavor is arguably my favorite. And it's a good problem to have because they all get me accelerated. And whether it's in season, out of season, doesn't matter. You can always find me with one of these energy drinks in my hand.
I have 4 little ones running and crawling around, and I always need my accelerator. It's a perfect pick-me-up, but without the jitters.
Ooh.
To all of you listeners, you can go get this delicious beverage that me and my brother are always drinking at Quick Trip, Giant Eagle, Hy-Vee, and H-E-B.
That's right. Go stock up on the clinically proven energy drink that uses 100% natural caffeine and accelerates your metabolism without the sugar crash. And, of course, you can always get a case from Amazon.
Thank you to our partner Reese's and their new peanut butter and jelly cups, which we are really looking forward to trying out.
In strawberry and grape, now for a limited time only, the iconic PB&J taste we all grew up with, plus Reese's Cups, the greatest candy in the world. That's an instant must-have right there.
And they're only for a limited time. That's right. You got to go now. Go fast because they're going fast. That's right. Reese's peanut butter and jelly, a complete candy, no-brainer.
No brainer indeed. Reese's is always trying new combinations. Could this be the best one yet, Jason? I'm probably going to lean towards grape every time.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like strawberry pairs better with chocolate. Like chocolate-covered strawberries is a thing. Chocolate-covered grapes isn't. So like peanut butter and jelly to me is always peanut butter and grape jelly. Strawberry might be something that would taste good with a Reese's peanut butter and jelly cup. So get into the greatness of not just one, but 2 new Reese's peanut butter and jelly cups in strawberry and grape. Decide which one you love most, or just fall in love with both of them.
Get them while you can because they're here for a limited time only. Reese's new peanut butter and jelly cups. That's right. What's your jam? Found wherever candy is sold.
Thank you to our partner, the Farmer's Dog.
Hey, you know what time it is?
Dog time!
It's time for a fresh approach to dog food, and that's exactly where the Farmer's Dog comes in.
These guys have created human-grade dog food developed by board-certified nutritionists. We're talking real meat and veggies, gently cooked to keep all those nutrients intact.
Let's be honest, traditional pet food is super processed, and who knows if you're serving the right amount, right?
It's true.
The Farmer's Dog has totally changed the game with their freshly made food.
They handle all the guesswork by portioning your dog's meals based on the specific nutritional needs. Just grab a pre-portioned pack, serve, and boom! Your dog gets exactly what they need to stay healthy and happy.
The best part, they deliver straight to your door and automatically send new food when you're running low. Plus, they got real people available 24/7 for customer support because sometimes you've got burning dog food questions at 2 a.m. in the morning.
You get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/new heights. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/new heights to get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/new heights. All right. Well, we're going to get to this. We got to ask section we're going to do here. We just kind of rapid fire questions at you.
Uh-oh.
You are not, you don't have to answer. You can tell us to fuck off. We kind of appreciate it. You famously refused to wear a Yankees hat in the movie Gone Girl. Is this still something that you refuse to do on screen? Like, will you, what is it going to take to get you in?
I would not be interested in doing that. Like, I don't have to do that. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like,
I love it.
And also, to be fair, I was explaining to David, like, it's going to become like he's a big football fan. He's not as tuned into baseball, right? He's obsessed with football and Madden, and like the dude's the greatest Madden player, David Fincher, that I've ever seen, which is fucking weird to me. But I was like, okay, I guess he's great at everything.
That's
but
amazing.
I was like, it's going to be a distraction that you don't want, like a stupid side story about wearing a Yankees hat. Yeah. Like, trust me. And he was kind of fucking with me. Yeah,
that is fucking hilarious. Well, all right. Well, if you were to wear maybe a Chiefs or Eagles hat, which one would you wear?
Ooh, don't put me in the spot like that. I will say, I have to say, because Billy Goldberg upstairs who is my the editor along with Chris Ross, that I've worked with my whole career and is probably responsible for a large part of my career, is the biggest Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, baby.
You
does not ever want to be at a Philly football game. I have to say, Philly has at least Boston, like, for me, Philly has like the intense fucking tradition where and Bradley Cooper's a friend of mine, loves the Phillies. So I'm like, I'd have to go with the Phillies on that.
Hell yeah. Go Birds, baby.
Also, the Philly fans will kick your ass if you don't wear it. You know what I mean? In Kansas City, they're like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean?
You got to kind of stick together.
They're way out there in the middle of the country. Like,
come on out here, have some good time. You want to see some intensity.
They're like, polite and Midwestern and shit. They'll be nice to you. Philly is fucking chain stomp you.
Oh, gosh. We heard that you once got to run routes with Tom Brady. All right. What was it like?
What was that like?
How many completions did we get? What were you running? What kind of routes were you running?
I won't lie to you. I don't know if they have a name. I'm sure I disgraced every receiver that's ever run a route. But to this day, aside from the birth of my children, that was the greatest thing. I was like, dude, are you? He was like, I need someone to play catch with. Happened to be on vacation at the same place with him. And he was like, you want to come down? And I was like,
oh, this was legit. This was as legit as it gets.
That's amazing.
You were helping Tom get ready for the season.
I was like, I don't know how much I was helping him. I think he was like, I'm going to fucking blow this dude's mouth.
Worked.
And we literally got down there. And first he's like, he's like, okay, go out here, turn around, spin around. And And I'm like, all right, run as fast as I can, turn around. I feel, so look at him, he's been waiting 45 minutes. You know, fucking guns the ball at me. I'm like, I caught it because I was afraid of breaking my nose more than anything else. And then after a few of those, he's like, all right, we'll put some hair on it. I was like, no. It's already playing fast.
Yeah. That was what I was about to ask you. That's what I was about to ask you. Did he actually spin it? Like, he ripped you a couple?
He can hum him now.
You know what I found was that, like, in a way, you catch it out of self-defense. I didn't even think I was, you know, and I found myself with the football just out of, like, fight or flight reflexes. But the greatest moment of that experience was he was like, after we had played, you know, he had me running around. He threw me the ball, and it was amazing, right? It was like I felt like a 10-year-old kid. He's like, okay, come here. And I get to him, and he's like, it's the Super Bowl, fourth quarter. We got 23 seconds. It's 4th and 18. I
love this.
Tom knows what he's doing, man.
I was like, He's like, just run.
Dude, this is why he's the best. This is why he's the best. This is his mindset, dude.
He was amazing, dude. He goes, and just run straight. Don't turn around. And I was like, he's like, I'm going to get you the ball in the end zone. I was like, don't turn around. He was like, don't look back. So I'm like, okay. And I believed it. Like, he told me, I was like, I'm in the Super Bowl now. Nobody around. So he's like, look, calls it out. He was, and I start running. I don't look back. I'm sure to him it seemed like this. He's like, I've never seen somebody run in slow motion before. You know, but like to me, I was going as fast as you can go. Yeah. And I'm like wondering, when's this ball going to show up? And I just feel it like right out in front of me. And it was a little far for me. I think he was like, he probably adjusted back and still not backing up, you know what I mean? And I reach out and I have to go off, extend. I fucking catch it. I turn around like I won the fucking Super Bowl. He's running at me like this. It was incredible. I called everybody I knew. Like, for 2 days, I was on the. So Tom Brady called me, and I went down and got the. I think they thought I was lying to them, so they got. But it was like the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me, and I lived a full life of dreams, right? In that whatever it was hour of playing catch.
You had a real life Sandlot. You had a real life Sandlot moment. You were Smalls,
dude.
Kenny the Jet. Kenny the Jet. Just put that glove up there, boy. That's so good.
All right, I'm gonna get it to you in the end zone. I mean, and it's like when it felt like this is exactly what he looks like when it really is the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, and he's one of those guys. Going back to that thing, I've often wondered because he seems so relaxed, like oddly relaxed. I've often wondered if that's part of it, like just not, when everyone else has that anxiety because it's, whatever, 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, if you can have that like calm and that awareness, I think it's a huge, huge advantage. There's a story, I don't know if it's true, about Joe Montana that the Super Bowl, he threw the catch to Dwight Clark, and the play before that, he got into the huddle and he was looking into the stands and the team came back and they were like, what? And he goes, hey, look over there. Is that John Candy? And they all and he's like, oh, the Super Bowl. And they just like turn back around. But he was like looking over and be like, oh shit, that's John Candy. All right, fuck it, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was just casual. And I feel like that always made sense.
If you've ever met Joe Montana, that's a smooth son of a buck right there. He's a cool cat, man. He's a laid back dude.
I believe it.
Are you sick and tired of having to look at Matt Damon's abs?
Damn, I just went to the premiere. Every interviewer, like they were giving me something, like they found the secret of life, like whips out an 8x10 of Matt with his ab. I was like, this dude is out there. One time he got in shape, and the whole world, like, you worked out one time. He's out there flexing his nuts off with his ab, But listen, it looks good. It ain't easy. When you touch 50. You boys will see.
I hear you, man.
He's calling everybody, tell him where he's going. I'm going to be on this beach at this time.
He's like, make sure. I'm about to have a Big Mac.
So good.
Dude, you guys lived together in Boston your first year. Or growing up, I should say. I say first year, but growing.
Yep, we were friends on the same block. We lived together in LA. We've been friends since we were little kids. Yeah,
dude, that's so fucking cool. Me and Jason were living together at Cincinnati, and obviously we grew up together. I know what it's like to like hang out with your homies and like be in the same houses. You like, how fucking cool were you guys? Just fucking throwing cool ass ideas back and forth to each other? Like,
I don't know how cool they were.
I don't know.
We were just like fucking dumb enough to think it would work out for us. That's that kind of like belief that like, yeah, that's part of the gift of being young is you don't really see that like this could end bad.
Right.
No one hires us. It might not work. We always kind of had a certain like, hey, we go out there. I don't know. It was a combination of not knowing anyone who had done it, or it seemed very far away, and also going like, yeah, fuck it, we're going to move out to LA and we're going to try this thing and we're going to go after it. But I'm curious because for me, I found that I see a lot of other people who've had success, and the kind of sort of light turns on you, and all of a sudden it's a very different experience day to day, and people act different, and shit is weird. Especially like when people that first at the beginning of that transition, and I really credit my ability to kind of stay sane to having like my best friend who was doing it too, and being able to be like, is this fucking bananas or what, man? Like this is crazy. And
cool,
someone else would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you acting like that? Or whatever it is, because other people might want to kiss your ass or whatever it is. I wonder if you have the same thing, you guys, like, NFL guys, and you're like, but you're not the only one in your town that's that one kid who becomes a big star, and everyone, like you had each other. Was that?
I was lucky. I just got to follow this guy's footsteps. I was just doing whatever the fuck he did, and I was benefiting from the guy already paving the way for me. But it was definitely cool once we got to the league how we could bounce things off of each other, especially because we were in two different cities, two different buildings, and it's like, I don't know. We also had Coach Reed. He got drafted by Coach Reed in Philly, and then I did in Kansas City. So it was really me just like confirming that what I was doing was the right thing to do to Jason. Jason was kind of just, figuring it out as he went.
Did you think that because he did it made it easier for you? Because you were like, oh, if my brother can do it.
1,000%. Jason came in and was like one of the most professional guys in Philly. I've heard the stories through everybody in that building, because half of them came to Kansas City and they were like, man, if you just lock in and do what your brother did, you'll be just fine.
I think that's a big deal, man.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Guy's a fucking... But I just got to follow his footsteps.
Stop. All right. I really do think you're onto something with like you and Matt going through it together, and like Travis and I, and like, as you have more success, there's more people that come around you that don't really know you, and they just want to like tell you how great you are or whatever. And
because you represent like a job or some status to somebody or whatever it is. So they're going to tune into that because they want it,
Or they see you on camera, or they see Travis and I doing this, or on TV, and they think they know us. But like, to have these relationships that predate all of that other stuff is like, it's hard to like replicate that with like, whether it's friends, family members, and you end up really holding on to those, and they end up meaning a lot more. And it helps you kind of keep your sense of self, for sure, undoubtedly.
Absolutely, man. That is true words were never spoken. Like, it's very hard to have the same quality of relationship in a way with somebody and trust, like, because it's a big difference. Like, the people that I grew up with who their relationship, I know those relationships were based on me and that person. They didn't have to do with anything else. And that's never a thing that you can take for granted after that point, which isn't to say I think everybody's trying to, but it changes things. And part of it, maybe it makes us wonder more like, okay, why does this person, want to be like, I remember I had the best thing that ever happened to me was I got successful, and then I hit a really like bad patch. Like, I had a bunch of movies that didn't work. I was in a bunch of tabloids, and I was like, I thought, okay, this may be over for me. Yeah. And what happened was a lot of that shit went away. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm not that funny. I don't have that many friends, actually. Like, it was a whole, I used to say this, something like this, and people would laugh. Like, the world changed, and I could feel I didn't represent the same thing to people. And I recalibrated and was like, okay, I get it. These relationships are largely what they are. They're not really authentically based on the, me and this person. And that's okay. You don't need that many friends. You just need a few really good friends. And not every relationship is going to be really authentic, close friendships. Some things are just like work relationships or whatever it may be. Yeah. But that helped me kind of get it, and it was just a really helpful moment. And I think sometimes people, like in sports, you tend to have this career trajectory. Like, come in, it goes great, everything's amazing. And like the last couple of years, okay, all right, now I'm going to retire. And then after that, like some guys I come across, you know more, maybe you can tell me if this is true or not, like have a hard time adjusting after that because they're like, wait a second, this life is so different now.
100%.
That's legit. A lot of guys, you got to try and find a career after sports while you're still doing it, man. But speaking of work relationships, we got some Dunkin' Donuts here,
baby.
Oh, God, dude, that's the Super Bowl commercial was fucking legendary, dude.
Yes.
Thanks, dude.
So good. That thick ass Boston accent. That shit was fucking gold. If I go to Dunkin' and say, I want the Affleck, what's the order?
Get the fuck out of here. My order is the iced coffee, and I like the chocolate glazed donut, but I don't think they've memorialized it as my order. You know what I mean? I think it's, but it was fun. It was like the nice thing about that with Dunkin' was like they let us, and our company, our secretary became the ad agency and started building this commercial stuff, and now we kind of broadened it out to a couple of other brands as well. And they kind of were like, okay, because my belief is like you want to get the connection with whatever the culture or the person is, like, and this is in theory, not having to do with me, like, but let them have a voice in what they're creating. So like, let them participate. So, when we had like Ice Spice or Kristen Wiig or Tom Brady, like, don't even come at them with a script and lines. It was like, what your fans want to see, what people connect to about you, like bring that to this thing. And people are so much more comfortable and better because they like, you don't lock people into some stupid line and posing with the product. And and now people know that shit is just artificial and it doesn't work, so
could not agree more.
So that's awesome, man.
Excuse for them letting us fuck around and act stupid. And
no, but you're right. It comes across so much more authentic. And like, even like, when we've done advertisements, when you as the person behind it and the face, a part of it, when you're actually contributing to like what the thing ends up being, it feels more real to you. So of course it's going to feel more real to the people watching it. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
It's your taste. Like that's for athletes, whatever it is, like your persona, yourself, like that's the thing that means something to people. They're connecting to you in that way. And like, you kind of want to be like, if you're not consistent with it because the brand is trying to voice something on you, people vibe it. They're like, that's not why I like this guy or this woman. I don't, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't even work, but it's fun when you get it right and you have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, they fucking killed it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking smacking some munchkins every time. They got those new blueberry ones, or they're new to me.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Those things are a fucking game changer.
Kylie had a box of them. Kylie had a box of them the other week, and I was like, you know what? I've been on this diet. I've been trying to slim down, but I couldn't resist. I reached in there. I was like, I took a bite. I was like,
they make you feel good about eating.
I took a bite. I didn't even know that blueberry existed. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's funny. I just had my first one the other day, and I was like, damn, this is fucking good. I thought I knew all the shit that was, but
they got that shit figured out.
New discovery every day. Yeah, they do.
They'll probably be like, it's been there for years, and I'm just a dumbass that hasn't had it. But anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, me too. They're like, well, you make commercials for them. You know
Didn't know about the blueberry. Hey, Ben, thank you so much for joining us, man. This has been awesome. Bro, I know you got stuff to do.
It's such a pleasure, man. I'm such a big fan. You guys are the best, and it's really a pleasure and an honor. So much fun. Like I can't tell you how much I'd rather be like hanging out and talking with you guys than kind of just doing the same old thing. This is great,
dude.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Let's do it again when you have another one that's hitting.
We got
theaters,
so many more questions. We don't even have to do it on camera.
It was just fun just chopping it up with you, man.
I give better answers off camera.
Awesome.
You're the man, dog.
Thanks,
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Affleck.
Thank you, fellas. You're the best. Thank you. I'm out. Later.
Ben Affleck, dude. What a legend, man.
You ain't lying. I mean, I've always been a fan of him as an actor, but then you get to talk to the guy. You get to see how driven he is. You can tell just talking to him how much he cares about just everything he does, how much he's always trying to figure out how other people have success. It was just an all-time combo.
And his mind works so much faster than mine.
Yeah.
His neurons are fucking
they're firing.
connecting.
They're firing quick.
Dude is a special human being, man. That shit was awesome.
Make sure you go check out Accountant 2. It's a pretty damn good movie. You'll enjoy it.
Yes, you will. All right, now let's get out of the house. Man, we haven't hit this segment in a while because Jason just had his fourth child. It's the first time he got out of the house in a long time.
This is all true.
Jason, how was it? What'd you do?
Travis, I was with you. What are you talking about? We both went to...
we're talking about that. Oh, yeah. Well, we headed over to one of my favorite golf tournaments of all time, at the Justin Timberlake 8 a.m. golf tournament in Viva Las Vegas.
Dude.
Where I just can't seem to lose. I just never lose in Vegas, man. There's something about Las Vegas. It's just, it's kind of where I feel at home.
It's been good to you?
Especially at the win. More so at the win than anywhere else. And oh my gosh, look at those jugs. You gotta show that.
Wow, I didn't know. I didn't know that's what it looked like.
Oh my god! Oh.
It's a solid C cup. D's maybe. Is my nipples? Are my nipples hard?
Oh my god!
Why are my nipples hard,
dude? Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh, dude, those are your nips.
In fairness, I think it was a little cold. Those are just the thermostats working. It was a little breezy that day. That's why Santino's got the sweater on.
Dude, you might need to go get some tit reduction, dude.
No. I'm a fan of them. I've always.
Oh man, dude,
wow.
That is hilarious.
That's aggressive. That's
what it is. God damn, that just made my day. What was your favorite part of the weekend, Jason?
My favorite part of the weekend? I don't know. I mean, getting to hang out with my brother, a bunch of awesome people. No, it was a fun event. I mean, listen, you're at the Wynn in Las Vegas at like this unbelievable golf course playing with a bunch of the coolest people on the planet. It was freaking awesome. And, got to meet Justin Timberlake, among a million other people that were there to all, be together and have a good time. And it was done right. I always love going to these golf outings. We're 8 a.m. in particular for this outing. The people at the Tahoe outing, they just do such a great job at organizing it, getting everything set up.
Oh, yeah.
It was just really well run, combined with great people. So, yeah, I had a blast.
Dude, so much fun. You got thrown into a group with two of my favorite human beings on the face of this earth, Chandler Parsons and Blake Griffin. And I was with another one of my favorite people on this earth, Andrew Santino. And I'm not going to lie, man, Santino he's a stick.
Dude, he's good.
I haven't seen him play this good in a while, man. There was a few shots where he was just absolutely dialed in.
He was sinking putts.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Dude, he was sinking putts. I was not sinking putts. Me, Blake, and Chandler had great vibes. I was really struggling. My first putt, I think, was like a 10-foot putt that I putt legitimately 5 feet. To the point that everyone audibly laughed behind me. Somebody legitimately said, that can't be serious. It was like, it was straight from Happy Gilmore. Like, I hit it and I was like, oh no. That thing is going nowhere.
And it doesn't help it out that you have that putter.
What are you talking about? It's a Scotty Cameron freaking, dude, it's the best putter on the planet. I'm not trying to hear this.
That putter is from the beginning of golf. Okay.
Yeah, that's how you know it's good. It's survived for a very long time. It's a great putter.
It's survived? Why?
Yeah.
Just because nobody lost it?
No, people have been playing it, and it's a putter that's stood the test of time. It's a classic.
Yeah, it'll only get you halfway to the hole, though.
Well, that's if you're a jamoke like myself and you didn't practice any putts before the round.
There you go. One of my favorite experiences from the weekend is always the karaoke night. They always do a great job of getting everybody to go up on stage and sing a great tune. And we all know your karaoke song.
Yeah, we didn't execute it as well as I thought we were going to.
Turn around.
It was tough on stage hearing the audio and the words weren't synced up as perfectly as I thought. This is after a full day of garage beer on the course. So it was not the best performance, but it's an A for effort and entertainment value.
Effort. Listen, the first probably 10 to 15, maybe even 20 seconds you guys were the most entertaining crew up there. And then out of nowhere, it was just like a scream off of you and the other two just absolutely trying to get the wheels back on the track.
We tried.
Lee, that was
fun.
Absolutely hilarious. Shout out to JT. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to everybody over at 8 a.m. and The Win. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite casino out there, man. They always do it right and hook it up during the 8 a.m. And that's one of my favorite golf courses out there.
Let's get on to one of our favorite segments each week, and that is No Dumb Questions. No Dumb Questions is brought to you by Perplexity. For those of you that don't know, that is an AI search engine we will use occasionally to help us answer some of these no dumb questions or questions that arise from the no dumb questions or any type of questions we have during the show. The entire internet has been debating a no dumb question, and we have been asked to weigh in. From at BDFGHKLNPQUVWXY.
Guarantee a bot. This is a bot.
At Brandon Borders, at Jake Chatsky. I'm going to need Jason Kelsey and Travis's opinion on this. He quote tweeted, I think 100 guys could beat one gorilla. Everybody just got to be dedicated to the shit.
Shout out to Dream Chasing Mike.
We got to answer some questions first. Are we allowed to use tools? Because I could beat a gorilla by myself. I got the biggest gun. Be over real quick, right? So I think we're talking about hand-to-hand combat, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think we're just talking hand-to-hand.
Gorilla don't scare me if I got a big-ass Magnum fucking whatever.
But what are we talking here?
We're
talking
like guns.
Yeah, exactly. Are we talking like, what's a win? Is a win like death?
Yeah, you're fighting to the death. That's what a win is when you're fighting a gorilla.
How do you
kill it?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
How
my
do you
thing.
kill a gorilla?
You're going to need a tool. You can't kill a gorilla with your hands.
No, yeah, I don't know.
You're going to choke it out? I mean, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough sell right there.
I think 100 guys could do it because the gorilla would get tired. But he's going to go through about 98 of them.
He's going to go. Somebody's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to. That's why he's saying, I think 100 guys would be one gorilla. Everybody just got to be dedicated to the shit. The shit is, you're going to get fucked up if you're one of the first people to go at this gorilla.
I think one of the reasons these questions are terrible is because humans don't fight hand to hand. Even, I mean, you go back to looking at, people back in the day, everybody's using tools. I'm going to pick up a big ass rock. I'm not going to go fight this gorilla with my hands. I'm going to let you distract him. I'm going to stand in the tree, and then when he's not looking, I'm going to drop a boulder on his head. Yeah. We're not fighting fair. That's how human beings fight, right? If you're smart, if you want to survive.
That's dedicated to the shits.
I'm going to sharpen a stick and then poke that big motherfucker and not have to go and fight it with my hands. And in which case, it's going to be a lot less than 100 guys. Might be one guy if you got the right tool. But yeah, if you try and go fight a gorilla with your bare hands, you will die.
I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's too strong. It's too powerful. I don't even know how you would kill it. How would you kill a gorilla?
Dude, what? I don't know. No, you're not choking it out.
You try and hold it down. I just would like 20 people jump on it just to pin it down. But even that, I don't think that's going to work.
I think they're 20 strong. They're 20 times stronger than us. That's why it's a dumb question.
All righty, that's No Dumb Questions brought to you by Perplexity. That wraps up another episode of New Heights. Thank you to Ben Affleck for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to the New Heights channel and follow New Heights in the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Special announcement, we will be back next week with a special Mother's Day episode.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be a part of that one.
It's going to be Mommy.
God.
Once again, New Heights, a Wonder Show produced by Wave Sports and Entertainment and brought to you by Dunkin.
Oh, these little munchkins.
Where to put them?
Follow the show on all social media at New Heights Show with one S for fun clips throughout the week. And thanks to our production and crew. You guys are going to have your hands full this time. And to the 92%ers, please keep tuning in. We'll get good at this one day.
When I'm confused about a name, I just try to go as fast as possible.
I think everybody in their right mind says Affleck.
Jake, put a poll up. Put a poll up.
Put a poll up.
Jake, just take it to the audience. Put a poll up.
I've never heard one person in ordinary conversation.
How often does it come up for you? How often does Ben
Not
Affleck
not often, but it's always Ben Affleck. Never Ben Affleck.
Or is that just like the Philly
Affleck?
accent getting in there?
No, it's just
you're overdoing it.
You're overdoing it with the
overdoing it. You're overdoing it.
Ben Affleck.
You're either saying Affleck or Affleck. Affleck is an A.
Affleck
is an E.
You're saying the same.
Affleck. You're saying like affect.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it's either Affleck or Affleck.
You added a T on one of those. I swear to God, I heard a T.
I definitely add T sometimes. And that's for sure wrong. Listen, if it wasn't for football, I'd be just like Ben Affleck in Good Will Hunting. You know what I mean? I'd be just working the docks.
What docks?
The docks is a construction.
What docks? What docks are you?
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
What are you, Danny Green? Working the fucking docks at Lake Erie?
It's a major shipping hub, Travis.